Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Madeline Vaughn, and as promised in the prior video, I did say I would talk about my individual books that I've written. So let's get started. Book 1, Death Before Dishonor. This trilogy literally came from a dream. I woke up in the middle of the night at some point and was very shaken. I remembered very vividly what I was dreaming about. I was in the Navy, which, spoiler alert, has never happened. I've never been in any military of any aspect. I have a lot of family that have served, but not myself. So anyways, I woke up from this dream, a little shaken because I was getting shot at. And at that point, I hadn't woken my husband up. I didn't jump enough, I guess, and he was still dead asleep. So I went ahead and tried to go back to sleep. Dream pretty much picked up where it left off. I was running for my life, trying to get some information to family friends that I had discovered while going through some files in a naval office in Norfolk, Virginia. So I wake up a second time, jumped quite a bit, woke up my husband. He's like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And I told him I had this crazy dream. He asked me if I wanted to talk about it. I said, "Yeah, sure, let's talk about it." So we talked about what happened. I'm not gonna give all of that away because a lot of it is through books 1, 2, and 3. But I think 10 minutes went by and he said, "That doesn't sound like a dream. That sounds like a mini series. You should probably maybe write that down." I was like, okay. So I did. I got a piece of paper and pen and spent the entire morning writing out what I dreamt about as much as I could remember. And that's how Emily Fallon was born. So that's book 1. I did know from that dream that I wanted the story to be 3 parts. I've always known it was going to be 3 parts, and I've also always known how it's going to end. So from there, I wrote book 2, which is Storm from Within. Picks up where book 1 leaves off, hence the trilogy. You do have to read them in order. But yeah, so I can't really talk too much about books 2 and 3 without giving anything away, but book 2 was a little more difficult to write because I was a pantser in book 1. For those of you that may not recognize that term, it is you literally write by the seat of your pants. I didn't outline anything for book 1. I just started writing. And then if I got stuck, I would go for a walk with my husband and talk about where I was with my writing. And then we would work out the next scene or maybe discuss a plot twist I was thinking about. And if it was something that could really happen or if I was too far-fetched with my idea. Anyways, so that's how book 1 went. Before I wrote book 2 and 3, I had to sit down, reread book 1 for about the 100th time. And I created an Excel doc that had all of my timelines, that had all of my Easter eggs that I put in book 1 that I knew I wanted to put in books 2 and 3 to close those loops, tie different characters back to different parts. So there was an entirely different process for writing books 2 and 3. So book 2, the only other thing I will say about book 2 is this one and book 3 were emotional for me to write in a good way. So there are particular scenes, again, no spoilers, that I had to write, and just trying to put myself in the character's shoes is very important to me. I want to make sure that you feel what they're feeling. In order to do that, I needed to feel what they were feeling. So there were times where I would write a scene and I would just put it down and walk away and maybe leave it for a couple days before picking it back up and rereading it, editing it, and changing anything if needed. So it's book 2. Book 3, the final one in the trilogy, is Retribution for the Fallen. Again, really can't say too much about it except I knew exactly how this book was going to end from day 1, from literally my dream. I knew how this was going to end. So I'm very proud of all the Easter eggs I was able to wrap up and have callbacks to the plot twists that moved into book 3. The amount of messages I got from books 2 and 3 made it so much fun for me and much more real that I actually put these out there. I wrote these thinking my husband and I were the only ones that were ever going to read them, and to talk, I guess, to discuss and message and speak with readers that have read them and love them and have fallen in love with some of the characters in these books has been just so fun for me. It's book 3, Xander Ellis. So everybody loves Xander. I received a lot of messages about Xander and how could they find out more? Will he have his own trilogy or his own series? And right now the answer is no, he won't. But I did give y'all a prequel novella. So it does start from his teenage years. There's a little bit of Emily in here, a little bit of her family in here that was briefly discussed in books 1 through 3. So you get a little more of them in this novella, and you find out what Xander actually did. I reference it in books 1 and 2, but you actually find out what he did to get in trouble and why his record was sealed. So, Xander. And then for you hardcore romance people that don't care for crime fiction, I also gave you a contemporary romance novella, Second Chances. So this is based off a family that I'm very close to, and I really thought that their story needed to be told. They've had lots of ups and downs through the years. I tried to pick some specific points in their lives to turn it into a story that could be relatable to other readers. So, Second Chances. This is on Kindle Unlimited, and Xander is on Kindle Unlimited. I need to check book 1, Death Before Dishonor, but they're all available on Amazon. They're also available on my website for signed copies. So that is the selection of books I've written to this point. I'm currently working on a series, not a trilogy. It's so far planned to be 5 books, and more to come on that down the road. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell to get any notifications anytime I upload a new video. Have a great day.